taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you.
Hello and welcome back to Angry Canadian Reacts, reacting again to some British reactions. Let's just jump into it. This one I'm interested in. Why a Canadian left to move to America? Traitor? I'm just being serious. Alright, let's get into this. Without further ado.
I left Canada for the US of A. Let's see what she's gonna have to say.
I want to tell you something that most Canadians don't say out loud.
Okay.
I moved to the United States because Canada wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to go fast enough. And I knew that before I left.
Job-wise.
This isn't a video about me hating Canada because I love where I'm from. This is a video where I'm just going to be honest about who I am, what I want out of life, and why when I looked at a map of where I could build my future, the US kept coming up as the only real answer for me.
Right.
Interesting.
I'm gonna assume it's something to do with like work and, you know, getting promotions. Because every time I hear about America and when people are working there, like, you guys seem like you get promotions more than anyone else. Or like there's a better path to get promoted to. Like the UK promotion system sucks. Sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
kind of sucks here too.
Anybody working Audi and get promoted to CEO of Apple, right? It doesn't happen.
So I'm going to be straight with you. This is how I'm wired because it's the whole reason this decision made sense for me.
Right.
Okay.
I am extremely money motivated, and it's not in a greed,
Okay.
I want to be Jeff Bezos and own a yacht way. It's in a I want to build things, own things, and have resources to do more of it kind of way.
Yeah, I need more funds for Pokemon cards, so I'm so down to hear what you gotta have to say. I'm not gonna lie.
So am I, because honestly, you can build things here in Canada, you can own things here in Canada, and the resources to do more, I believe Canada has the resources also.
Freedom through ownership is genuinely how I think about my life. And paired with that, I'm very impatient, like deeply impatient. And I can tell you exactly when I figured that out. My first real job after I graduated from university, I was hired as a project manager at a merchandising company making 40,000 Canadian dollars a year.
That's good.
Not a lot.
No.
That's not a lot. Hey Siri, what's 40,000 CAD in GBP?
21,416 pounds.
Oh wait, yeah, that's not a lot.
No, it's not.
I thought it was more GDP.
No.
I thought it was more. I thought it was more.
Months I was running the entire US division, and not because I was given the role, but because the actual head of the US division was the owner of the company's daughter, and she had figured out pretty quickly that I could just handle things.
Okay.
So while I was running client meetings and hiring people and managing the operation, she was baking cupcakes or driving her son to soccer practice. I'm not even exaggerating. She would be on the phone and tell me she's baking cupcakes. Eventually, she announced that she was stepping back from the company. And the CEO came to me and said they wanted me to keep running the division and that they weren't going to backfill her position. I was 22 years old running a $2 million a year operation alone.
Oh, you know what to do here then?
Yeah, ask for more money.
You know what to do here? You leave and you start your own exact operation. Exactly what you're doing now, you leave and do it by yourself. That's the American dream right there.
So naturally, I asked for a raise and a title that reflected what I was actually doing. They told me I was too young and too junior. I started job searching
Doing that so much for the prime. Hey, yeah, congrats.
the same week. I found something in tech too junior. I started job searching the same week. I found something in tech and accepted it. And on the day I went in to quit, the CEO pulled me back into his office and offered to match my new salary and give me the title jump I asked for.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Obviously, I said no. Not because the offer wasn't good, but because I refused to work somewhere that needed me to threaten to leave before they'd recognize what I was worth.
Right.
If tenure matters more than output, I'm in the wrong place for me.
Yeah.
So I moved into tech thinking this would fix it. Tech's supposed to be different, right? They're young companies, there's meritocracy, and it's skills over seniority.
Okay.
And for a while, I believed that. But I ran into the same thing again. Different company, different industry, same type of ceiling.
I feel like Canada and UK are very similar when it comes to work and stuff. Because, like, if you ask for a raise, they're not giving you a raise. You have to threaten to leave for them to give you a raise.
No, it didn't work.
The exact same. I don't know if it's the same in America.
Not for me,
but
anyway.
I wonder if in America you more like if you ask for a raise and you're worth the raise, they'll just give it you.
And that's when I realized the problem wasn't merchandising being old-fashioned. The problem wasn't that I needed to find a younger company. The problem was the culture of the Canadian workforce itself.
Oh, it's the same. Depends on company. Well,
Okay.
some people so I do know some Americans get yearly reviews and stuff, and then they get raises with that, which is pretty cool.
We have that.
There's a deference to tenure, to titles, and to waiting your turn that runs pretty deep. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, it just travels with the Canadian culture. And that, for me, was
Right.
the moment it clicked that I wasn't going to solve this problem by finding the right Canadian company. I was going to solve it by leaving. But leaving Canada for the US didn't automatically solve everything either. Because what I actually wanted wasn't just a better job in a better country. I wanted no boss, no company politics,
By
no
yourself.
ceiling on what I could make that someone else got to set. The thing I figured out about
Okay.
myself is that I love the game of work, not work itself. The strategy, the competition, the building, the winning. And when you're an employee, someone else is always holding the controller. So for me, entrepreneurship is the only version of work that actually feels like a game that I get to play, not just participate in. So I also knew that's where I needed to end up. The
Right.
problem with that was I was 23 years old with a kinesiology degree. I wasn't exactly swimming in startup.
A kinesiology. What is that?
Pretty sure it has to do with, like, athletics.
What is this? Kinesiology.
I don't know.
It's like physical therapy.
Yeah.
Capital or a Rolodex of business connections. So I made what I still think was the smartest decision I could have made at that age. If I wasn't ready to be the entrepreneur yet, I was going to work as close to one as possible and learn the game from somebody already playing it at a high level. And that is what eventually led me to the US. But getting there was its own battle in and of itself, and I'll get into that in my next video. So you should subscribe if you want to hear about that.
No.
And I want to be honest about why Canada didn't feel like the answer. Not because it's a bad place, but because of this cultural mismatch I kept bumping into. When I
Right.
tell Americans what I do, that I own businesses and I'm building things and I'm focused on equity and ownership,
They
the
support
response
it.
is almost always the same. They're stoked.
Okay, yeah. I was about to point this out because you guys in my chat being American, you're literally saying, like Shelly, you just said to it. You just said it. You said, good for her. Do you know what the British response will be? And I assume Canada's the same. They'll say she'll fail. Why is she doing that?
No.
What's the point? Just stay at your stable job. You're taking a risk and it's not going to work out. Like, British people would put her down right now. Instead of being stoked and uplifting, would put you down. I say we, but I don't. But like, most British people will.
Huh.
Like, when I started doing the YouTube content, which has worked out great for me now, thank you guys, most people would put me down. Like, I was streaming and that instead of like focusing on my uni degree, which seems really, really bad, but I enjoyed it a lot more. A lot of people was like, you know, that's
I
stupid.
just caught
what
the
are you
hat
doing?
you're
You're gonna
wearing.
fail, like, what? It's
Whatever.
ridiculous, right? People would just put you down.
They light up and they want to know more. There's this immediate recognition that what I'm describing is a legitimate aspirational path. Business ownership is celebrated in the States in a way that's almost reflexive. But when I tell Canadians the same thing, it's really different. And it's not always.
How do UK encourage their kids to do things? I want to say it's kind of changing,
See,
but the UK is very like,
there's that going on.
if you
But-
don't do well in school
Yeah.
and come up with a plan of
We're
a
leaving it.
stable job that you're going to join, you're going to do what I do for work. And my dad even tried to do that with me. And I'm not saying my dad is bad for doing that. That's just a standard normal thing in the UK. Right? So a lot of people, if they're working in trade, no, not family business, you just do the same work that they do. Same job.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people work in trade, they'll be like, right son, you're gonna get an apprenticeship with my company or something. They don't own the company, like they'll help them out and get their
Yeah, there's a lot of
something.
emphasis on
Or
college
you'll
and
just go do
university
this,
here
do
in
this, do that,
Canada.
and get a job and focus on the job and then just get a 9 to 5. They won't really say. I haven't really known any situation where they've been like, you know what, you go do you and try and risk it. We're not a very risk taker country though. We're
We
really
are.
not
We're
like
Canadian.
America.
Not everyone, I know I'm generalizing, but enough that I notice the pattern. There's a slight confusion in it. Like, okay, but what's your real job? Is it stable? Are you okay? And it's not like they're being malicious or preying on my downfall. It's just a different cultural operating system. Canada optimizes for stability. Entrepreneurship is a little more niche, a little more, I hope that works out for you.
True.
And when you're wired the way
really?
that I'm wired, you need to be around people who get it. The cultural environment you're in shapes what feels normal, what feels possible, and worth chasing. I needed to be somewhere that the dream I was chasing was not an unusual lifestyle choice that people worried about.
Do you know what's crazy? Ever since me leaving school, I've always risk took. That's exactly why I'm here right now. Right? I left school, what? Actually, I left uni about 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Right? But like, I've always took risks. I've never once heard someone say to me or encourage me or tell me what I'm doing is good. Ever.
Yeah, I get that.
Not at the start. Oh, people say it now. People say it now a lot. But that's because they see my numbers and I've already done well for myself. Right? But doing the actual risky part,
True.
no one ever said it.
No.
They probably just seen it as like, I was just wasting away and I was going to fail.
Kind
In
of
a
get that.
negative light. Not really encouraging.
All right. I feel you here. Kind of get that too. For me, the YouTube thing here is a hobby. Obviously, I only have about 300 subscribers. I just figured with my background in gaming, which is just, I've been gaming since the first gaming console came out. So I've got a lot of knowledge about gaming. But anyway, we're doing reactions here. Anyway.
And that goes to like friends or people I knew or whatever.
And I came to this decision.
The only people that actually was like allowing me to take risks was my parents, and they never really got onto me for like, doing something specifically. They kind of were just like, okay, you're gonna do what you're gonna want to do. Go for it, right? They just let me do it.
Yeah.
Very vibes based. I chose it because that's what felt right to me, but the numbers definitely back this up as well. The US captured 64% of global venture capital fundraising in 2025. Canada raised about $8 billion that year. America raised over $425 billion.
Jeez.
If you're building something and you need capital behind you, you want to be where the capital actually lives. And when you win...
Oh yeah, my family are definitely proud, 100%. And I definitely
Not
wouldn't be
mine.
doing this right now without them being supportive of
No
me
support
not
here
doing
whatsoever.
Because that's what it is at the start. Like, in their eyes, I was dropping university, which is a big deal, and not paying attention or studying much to do content, right? Which to them, they probably thought, wow, what is he doing? But they never actually said that. They never put me down on that. They never put me down. They just kind of just let me do what I want to do.
and you build something and eventually sell it, the tax treatment difference is real. In Canada, the combined marginal rate can hit over 50% in provinces like Ontario, where I used to live. And in the US, long-term capital gains on a business exit are taxed federally at 20%. If building to own and
Jeez.
eventually sell is the goal, that gap is enormous and it compounds over time. Even for someone like me living in California where
Yeah, I'm very lucky in that sense, by the way, with my family, because being British, a lot of parents would be very strict on them not doing that. Very strict. Very strict.
Interesting.
A lot of British parents are like, if you don't have your life sorted, we're gonna sort it out for you.
Yep.
the state tax is really high, it's still lower than Canada.
Which can be good, and oh, we're going into a lot of details here, aren't we? Jeez. But like, it's a crazy difference though. It can be good, but it can be bad. But it just comes down to like why the UK don't take risk. Because we like to play it safe mostly. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be good, them putting you on the path, right? But it is good because they don't want you to go down not doing anything, right? They want you to play it safe. But then by them always wanting people to play it safe, who's taking risk? Who's taking risk? That's why, I don't know about America, but that's why in the UK, the rich are always rich. Because they're the ones being born into it, and nobody poor is really taking risks to try and get rich. I feel like America's a lot different in that sense, where like maybe a lot of people poor or middle class do end up being rich because they are taking those risks.
I'll go much deeper on all of that.
I'll say here that Canadians take risks. Probably just as much as Americans. It's just my opinion.
In a later video, so you should subscribe. Because the full breakdown of what America structurally offers deserves its own conversation. For this video, what I want you to understand is that stats weren't what made the decision. They just confirmed what I already felt was my personal decision first.
That's the land of opportunity with America, yeah.
So that's the honest answer. Moving to the US was the only idea that made sense for me given who I am and the way I act. I needed a place where building businesses is normal and where people don't look at you like you joined a band.
That's why I love America.
And where the system at least gives you a fighting chance to keep what you built. And was it easy to get here? Absolutely not. Was it worth it? We'll figure that out if I ever make it, so stay tuned. But the decision to come here was never in question. I knew this was the only path for me.
This is why I absolutely love American enthusiasm. And that's why everything is like big in America. Like even in my space, right? Content. Bro, 90% of the biggest content creators are all American. They're all the ones taking a risk and doing it. Like, you guys are just like such risk takers. And obviously it don't plays out for everybody, but at least everybody's taking a risk. I feel like you have one life. Why play it safe? Like, why? There's no point. Go take that risk. And that's what a lot of Americans do. But people in the UK, totally opposite. Totally opposite. People in the UK, their initial thought process is get the job, work to survive, done.
Alright. Well, that'll just about do it. Okay, so she's not a traitor. It makes sense for her. It doesn't make sense for all of us. As long as she's a proud Canadian living in the States, I have no problem with that. Talking to you, Tom McDonald, you fake fuck. Anyway, that'll do it for me. Have a great day.